Peter Graf has never been far from publicity or a court, but it wasn't a tennis court today, and the publicity wasn't pleasant. The charge that he avoided taxes on more than £8 million of his daughter's earnings. The verdict? Guilty. But Graf had reason to smile. The sentence is light and he'll stay free for the moment. Graf never denied that while Steffi was winning dozens of tournaments, he was hiding her money in dummy companies in the Caribbean and Europe. But he claimed Germany had promised to tax Steffi lightly because she'd chosen to live there and not to be a tax exile like Boris Becker. Steffi Graf herself is being investigated, the authorities suspecting that she knew of, perhaps even ordered the tax evasion. But the judge today said all the evidence suggests she took no part in her father's activities, and he recommended that the investigation into her be dropped.
The files have to be closed in Stefanie Graf's case, and this is a cause to great satisfaction for Peter Graf and his lawyers.
Steffi Graf never attended her father's trial and wouldn't comment on his sentence as she left Australia today. She has trials of her own. Her tennis is falling apart. Bill Neely, ITN, Mannheim.
Well, we've been on the air. It's been announced that...
away when he was granted bail again, pending an appeal. When the father of the world's top woman tennis player arrived in court this morning, it was to hear all the charges against him upheld. He'd stashed away £8 million from Steffi's huge earnings in offshore accounts beyond the reach of German tax inspectors. Through his lawyers, he'd admitted the facts, but claimed he'd been badly advised. His former consultant, Joachim Eckart, was given a 2.5-year sentence for his part in the case. For the world's media, the focus was on Steffi Graf, and the defense lawyers were delighted with today's result.
Stefanie Graf is not involved in any wrongful activities, and she has been cleared by court today.
Steffi Graf herself was setting out from Australia towards Japan when the verdict came through. She's especially close to her father and has said he always had control of managing her fortune. As her career went from strength to strength, winning 7 Wimbledon titles, Steffi became an idol for a generation in Germany. But her father, who was always at her side in the good times, became, in his own words, lonely, depressed and out of his depth. So the verdict of nearly 4 years on Peter Graf is not the last word. A decision on whether he must go back to jail could take a week or a whole year. For the Graf family, the end of a dark chapter is nearly in sight, and Steffi Graf herself is in the clear. William Horsley, BBC News, Mannheim.
3 alcoholic drinks have been accused